So, ancient cosmology. What is it? Well, when I was being force-fed information in school, I was told it looked something like this. Anybody else ever hear that? That the world was something that these people thought they would just sell off the edge. They were dumb, and we were getting this new wisdom, and it was addicting getting this new wisdom, okay? We were becoming wise with worldly wisdom, and it was something that we looked forward to taking home to our parents and showing them how wise we were and that we were wiser than the people. But when we actually do some research, we find out that these ancient cosmologists, they didn't believe that at all. They believed in a firmament, an expanse above an immovable world, something I had never even heard of. I had never heard that there was some solid expanse above us according to the Bible or according to these ancient cosmologists. Not one time did that come up. They all believed in this until recent times. This is a recent construct, this globe model, heliocentric. In other words, if you break that word down, it's centered around Helios, which is an ancient sun god. Okay? So all these cultures, they picked up their belief systems from the Bible, from the creation story. And so with all of them believing that, we often wonder, how did we go from believing that the world is as stationary as it feels to going 288 times faster than a bullet? Okay? If I told you life could exist on a bullet and they couldn't feel motion, you would think I was crazy. Well, what we're told we're standing on is moving 288 times faster than that through the galaxy because of a Big Bang. Okay? So, there's lots of ways we could lose that wisdom, but one way is we lost our understanding of the definitions of what earth is. When it was very plainly stated in Genesis, it says, God called the dry land earth. And when we look here, we see day 2 of creation. Before he even called dry land earth, what does it talk about? The firmament. So before earth was even given a name, he spent the entire day making this expanse called the firmament. And when we look ahead, we see that the waters were gathered together. That's where earth appears. Earth is just dry land. And when you know that earth is just dry land, you can look at this old map here. This is from the 1500s, and it is to scale. You can line it up with a modern map. But this 1587 map, it makes a lot more sense when you look at dry land being earth and reading verses like the one in Isaiah that says he sets above the circle of the earth. What is the circle of the earth? It is the circle of dry land. He's setting above a circle of dry land. And when you read on in that verse, it says the heavens are like a curtain. He spreads them out like a tent to dwell in. That gives us a picture of creation right there. Okay? But another way we lost our footing and we lost our understanding is we didn't see the warnings. There was a warning that said, let no man deceive you. And then it goes on to tell us that the wisdom of this world is foolishness to our Father. But like I said, we were fed that wisdom so fast. We were spoon-fed before we could even think for ourselves and prove all things. And that wisdom of this world, what does it tell us? Well, you can see it tells us that you are not complex. You are not intelligently designed. You're so random and unimportant that nothing made you. Okay? Nothing made everything. And you're on a world that's moving 66,600 miles per hour. Got the 666s going on. The world is curved at 0.666 feet per mile squared. They didn't tell me that in kindergarten. They just told me it was a ball. Never brought those numbers up. It's not only that, it's tilted at 23.4 degrees. 23.4, and the remainder to get to 90, as you guessed it, 66.6 degrees. That's a far stretch from our Father's wisdom that tells us we live on a world that is not moving. It's immovable. It has a firmament, and it has a foundation. Okay? And we have been blessed that to come out of this, everyone losing that, people started proving all things. And when they started proving all things, what did they find out? Well, we were blessed to find out that what we were looking at night when we were going outside with our telescopes and all of that, being told we're looking at deep space, we were looking at the firmament, the only structure he made on the second day of creation. He didn't spend that entire second day making atmosphere. That would have been another day of rest. He was making a structure that he would later put stars in. If it was atmosphere, our atmosphere would have stars inside it, and it doesn't. Plane navigation would be a little tricky, okay? We have footage of this firmament, okay? If you don't believe the Bible, we actually now have footage of it. It's censored, but it's out there. Actual video footage. Scientists captured it when they flew above a storm, and these things, they didn't know what they were. They didn't know why. When they lit up, they can see a barrier above us, okay? It is the firmament. You can slow the footage down, brighten it. It is there. Powerful stuff. And when you do that, certain things we see in the sky make a lot more sense. These lightning sprites they were trying to film, they look kind of familiar. Looks like those little Labine lamps we used to play with as children. Comets make a lot more sense. We're told there's water above the firmament. And these things look a lot like light shining into water. We have declassified documents that speak of a flat earth, tons of them, and not just declassified documents. NASA even has documents that talk about a flat, non-rotating earth. And right here you have both. And this was in 1953, a flat earth, and they're studying the firmament. And when you look forward a few more years, they had to discover or invent the Van Allen belts. We have a donut-shaped barrier around us. It's deadly. It's why we can't go back to the moon, because it's that deadly. Even though the astronauts you talked to, they didn't even know about it. And then years later, scientists detected a barrier above us. And here comes NASA. They said, don't worry. It's not some God-made firmament. It's a man-made bubble. This is from nasa.gov. There's a man-made bubble surrounding the earth. You can all sleep safely. It's man-made. It's protecting us. Okay? It is not the firmament. Don't look into that. Okay? But this structure is why you see world powers agreeing on something for the first time ever. All world powers out of the history of the world, they finally said, you know what, we got to agree on one thing. Why don't we just agree on guarding the 60th south parallel so no exploration can go beyond that privately? Of course, you can go there. Private exploration is not allowed. But then that takes us to the curvature that we all seen growing up. Everyone saw the curve. We saw it many times on television. We see it constantly in our face at many different heights, too. 10,000 feet. You can see it from the plane. 33,000 feet. Ignore the 33. All these different distances, that curve looks exactly the same because they're using a fisheye lens. But when we go to prove all things, we see something differently. We test it on the surface, and we see researchers time and time again proving that the surface of water does not curve at many great distances. And this is just sight distances. There's limits to how far we can see because there's water in the air, but you can see it's far beyond what it should be. We've got world record long-distance photos with 3/4 of a mile of missing hidden target. You shouldn't be able to see that thing. There should be 3/4 of a mile hiding it, but we see it. Since then, we've gone further. 45.5 miles. 45.5 miles of missing curve. That is something new that's popping out. These things are happening all the time. If that's not enough for the refraction experts, we have Guglielmo Marconi back in 1901. This guy sent a line-of-sight signal. Line-of-sight meaning this signal only travels in a straight line across the entire Atlantic Ocean. 504 miles of missing curve. After that, we've got another one with the same signal, this time England to Australia. In order for that signal to reach, the tower they built would have to be over 7,000 miles tall for that signal to make it, but it made it. Okay, not because it bounced off of some ionosphere. It went in a straight line and went exactly there. Okay, the ancients knew a lot more about the stars. A lot of people freak out when they find out that the pyramids still line up with the same stars. They knew where these stars were. Okay, not a stationary star, but a star that remains on the equator 365 days a year. And when you look at the North Pole star, it doesn't move at all, ever, never moves. Okay. So you can prove with the stars that we're not moving. Even the star trails, they make perfect circles. When you look at the bar graph, the green line, that's our fastest motion. When you look to the far right, the red little dash, that's our slowest motion. The slowest motion, they say, is what makes the star trails. Okay? We are on an immovable world, and it's like my dad says, the earth is God's footstool. It is not his roller coaster. It does not say that in the Bible. That would be kind of cool. He's got a little roller coaster. But it's a footstool, I'm telling you. And people say, well, if this is important, why didn't Jesus talk about it? because it is an important truth. It's the Father's truth, but it's not the ultimate truth. But he didn't have to. For one, they already knew about it. For two, when he was being baptized, it says the heaven opened up. Remember, he called the firmament heaven. These people are witnessing the model that we believe in do different things, unique properties. Okay, so not only did it open at his baptism, what did he say when he was talking to people about the end? He said it's going to be like the days of Noah. Okay, it's going to be just like the days of Noah. Do you guys remember the days of Noah? Some of you older people? No? Back in the days of Noah, I can imagine this guy was looked at as a conspiracy theorist. There was a common meme going around that, hey, this guy was a conspiracy theorist until all of his fact checkers drowned. I thought that was hilarious. But then I went to the Ark Encounter last week, and there was a guy at the Ark Encounter saying that flat earthers, he was given a presentation saying that we are conspiracy theorists, that we're anti-Semitic, that we're all of these things. And I had the blessing of telling this guy, I said, you know, we're at the Ark Encounter. Noah was a conspiracy theorist. And I said, he was preparing for an event for the firmament to open up. We are preparing for an event for that firmament to open up yet again. We're looked at as conspiracy theorists. But this time when it opens, it's not flood. It's not water. It's the beloved Son returning. And as tempting as it's going to be, don't look at the fact checkers and be like, I told you so. You know, we still got to be humble. That's a big part of this. And so I'm blessed to kind of share that with you guys and share some final words of wisdom. Sorry. And this is one that'll help. You're going to debate with people when you're researching this, when you're new to this. You're not going to have all the answers. They expect you to have the answers for everything when you talk about it. But this verse here says, again, I say, don't get involved in foolish, ignorant arguments that only start fights. A servant of the Lord must not quarrel, but must be kind to everyone, able to teach, and be patient with difficult people. I know a lot of you wives can relate. Gently instruct those who oppose the truth. Perhaps God will change those people's hearts, and they will learn the truth. Then they will come to their senses and escape from the devil's trap. You guys got to remember, it's a trap they've fallen for. We fell for it. We have been blessed to see the truth about this creation model. You guys, we've been warning people about this alien deception stuff, and now it's happening. Now they're saying they have non-human biologics. They're saying all these things that we've been warning about, and they're banking on you believing in the globe. Okay? You can still believe in the globe and be saved, but that's what they're banking on. So if you guys are interested in information on the firmament, QR code right there. We've got videos for it.